Kung Fu Kenny.
Kung Fu Kenny, I've made it to your dojo.
Welcome to the dojo, man.
I simply have one question.
Go ahead, man. What's your question?
What is the meaning of life, Kung Fu Kenny?
Well, the meaning of life, first off, wipe your damn feet.
Oh,
You fucking asshole.
I apologize.
Tracking mud in this place, man. The meaning of life is inside of our blood, man. It's inside of our DNA.
Okay.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's about the element of life. You feel me, dog?
Yeah.
It's about being loyal. It's about loyalty, okay? It's about putting pride aside. You understand?
Yeah,
Hey, come here. I'm gonna show you the first. I'm gonna show you something real quick, okay?
Sure.
I'm gonna show you a quick move. Clearly, you came here. Okay? Be humble, okay? You gotta be humble.
Why would you?
I know
you
you-
hit me? I just have questions.
Because you're filled with lust. Because you're clearly filled with lust, man. I know about you, dog. I know you got 21 kids. You have too much love in your heart, okay? Too much triple X going on in your life,
Okay.
man.
Yeah, I do.
I gotta put the fear of God into you. Don't call me Kung Fu Kenny no more, man. Call me Duckworth.
You're listening to the Double D's podcast.
I'm Dom.
I'm to respect.
He's got a great set of tits.
I get so angry thinking about this kid.
Because that's what most people are bitching about.
To New York, you know, we like to eat out here. You know?
You gotta stop looking at interacting with people online as a cheap date. My father used to drink.
Get the fuck away from me! Hold on!
I come a lot, by the way.
You're doing the rap stuff.
If you didn't say it, somebody in the comment section would have said it.
It's like how you feel when you're having a paranoid high.
That's a dynamic connection right there. You're listening to Double D's.
I'm Dom.
I'm D Respect. Folks, thank you for listening to another installment of the Double D's podcast. As always, we'd like to force you to give this particular video 150 likes. It would make me the happiest podcaster in all of the land. And let me just remind you that the Double D Skitcast is still there. It's not going away. It's not expiring. It's not like milk. It's in the description below. And for the low price of $9.99, you can purchase it. So go for it, man.
You know what's gonna happen if you guys don't buy my shit, right? That's right. Motherfuckers.
No sound effects for that one, by the way.
Yeah, no sound effects.
It's
okay. You Kung Fu Kenny, baby.
That's all
Kung Fu
everybody's
Kenny,
talking
dog.
about, man. That's all everybody's talking about. Is we're not even gonna pussyfoot around the situation.
Yeah,
we just get into it, right? Let's just talk about it, man. Let's just discuss it.
Kenny
Let's
Rogers,
just
man.
discuss-
Kenny
hey,
Rogers
Dom,
just
Dom,
put out
Dom,
a new.
Dom,
Yeah, what's up?
Let's discuss it. Let's just talk about it, man.
I just started and you cut me off.
Okay. Well. Let's just discuss
You're all
it.
in your feelings because last time you weren't here. You were out pussyfooting around.
That's
in New
right.
York.
I wasn't. Okay.
And the boy Mike was in your hot seat and did a good job.
Yeah,
man.
I had to
You
adjust
mad?
the seat. Mike's a bit of a he's a smaller dude, so I had to just.
You
get some
guys
more
are
leg
actually
space.
the same size. You're probably the
No,
same
we're
size.
not. No, we're not.
All right, he's skinnier than you, but you're like Mike is probably like what 5'10". No, that's wrong. 6'2", 6'1".
I have no clue. But Mike seems like he has a pretty small frame. Judging from the videos, I would say Mike is probably, if Mike's listening to this, I don't know, let me know. I'd say Mike is probably like 160.
What are you packing,
No,
dog?
160.
180.
I'm like 195.
Damn.
I got some muscle on me, right, Brun?
Dude, I weigh 260. And you've seen me. I am fat, but I'm not super fat. I'm like, it's crazy, dude. I swear all my weight just goes in my thighs. All right, so this new Kenny Rogers just came out, right?
Yeah.
He dropped a new country album. Everyone's talking about it, dude.
No one to fold damn. No when to hold damn.
I was going down the street the other day and a blind woman came up to me and she said, and I said, I tried to go up to that blind lady and I said, it seems like you lost something. And she said, yeah, you did. You lost your life, okay? That's the first track. That's Blood.
Our listeners are way too young to get just how amazing
Yeah.
what we just both did.
Yeah.
They'll never know. They'll never know. So the album dropped, and we're recording this today on Easter. You guys are hearing this later on Sunday, but no album dropped. That's what people prophesized. They said that.
No, that's what you think. I have the album actually.
Oh, you have it? Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So what's it called?
It's called Eggs.
Eggs? Okay.
Yeah, it's called Eggs. It's
Kendrick on the cover with the Christmas Story bunny suit.
Yeah. Same pose as Dab. It's just his ears are photoshopped onto him, and he's holding a basket. This is not funny, dude. It's a really serious album.
Okay.
It's about Compton. It's about his childhood and Easter and how he never got to color eggs. Okay. It's about 30 tracks. It's like 3 discs. It's pretty big album.
Okay. So in the video when he drops it later today, this is gonna be he's coloring Easter eggs with his children.
Yeah.
In the bunny suit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey man, listen man, I just dropped this new shit, eggs, okay man? And like I just want to do something about Compton, something from the heart. You feel me, dog? I came on Double D's to talk about this shit, okay? Ask me anything you want to know about Damn.
Why is it Damn? Period.
Because man, it's a final statement on life. It's a final statement about how I feel about this world, how I feel about my career, my music. That's how I feel.
Dude, why are you so depressed, man? Things are going kind of well for you, man.
Hey man, Trump is president, Obama's not here anymore, man. I can't be going around fucking bitches no more. I'm married, dog. It's kind of weird. I think about the world. It makes me sad, okay? Also, some other bad shit happened, man. The carryout I used to go to, it's not around anymore.
First world problems, Kendrick.
Yeah, man. He is really sad. I mean, that's from the album cover to the name to the tracks and the actual content of it. It's even at its most triumphant, at his most braggadocious. It's counterpunching. Case in point, DNA. DNA is a great track. The last half of this track is the hardest I've seen him go on anything, okay?
I don't agree with that. You told me that the other day. I don't agree with that. I think the hardest I ever heard him go was on Black Friday with J. Cole.
I don't know that song.
That was a track where
It's probably because J. Cole
Cole spit over one of his beats and Cole spit over All Right and he spit over I think it was Tale of Two Cities.
Okay.
Yeah, Kendrick was just, we're talking delivery, we're talking rhyme patterns, and he was just going and going and going. He's had several moments where he just completely blacks out. Take your pick. That's really the point about Kendrick. It's like we're pointing out, when Eminem went fucking nuts. He's gone nuts tons of times.
Okay, but this specific time is important to me in this argument because, there's an interlude. It's DNA slow in the beginning. He's telling you this shit, and then the Fox News thing kicks off. He's directly responding to the Fox News shit. Yeah. This is the hardest this album is, and it's in response to people shitting on him for making a song, something coming out of his heart. Right? That's what I'm getting at. Is like. Even at his most triumphant here, it's still kind of sad. It's him responding to these assholes. It's him saying, I can't believe I have to fucking do this. You motherfuckers don't know anything about me. So it's not triumphant.
I feel like DNA is the track on the album that has the least connection to everything else because it's a response to Geraldo Rivera, to the Five on Five. By the way, if you guys don't, I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys don't watch Fox News, and this is me being extremely condescending towards you guys, but I know you guys. A lot of you are fucking bleeding heart liberals, and you would never be caught dead. But that's a show on Fox called Fox 5. I don't remember the name of the host that he was quoting. I know that it's Greg Gutfeld, and that's where that blonde chick came from Fox that had
Megyn Kelly?
Megyn Kelly, right. She was on that show for a while. And Greg Gutfeld, he's great. I would have never found Peep Show if it wasn't for that show. But
really?
Yeah, because Greg Gutfeld, I think he's sort of a comedian or sort of a culture critic at some point. He's an author, and he's a Fox douche. But towards my last few times watching it, just his closing thoughts were, Netflix a show called Peep Show. It's the greatest show, and I Netflixed it that night, and I never stopped watching it. So at least I gained something from that show, if nothing else. But what made that song? I think visually, it had something because when you transitioned from Blood to DNA, I love the echoes that came in after he was shot by the blind woman. I forgot what the first statement from the show was, but Kendrick Lamar, and then he reads the lyrics to All Right. And, in the middle of DNA, then the Geraldo Rivera comes in, and that's when after that he blacks out. So it's like this very sort of Big Brother feel that you get to it. Like, like Kendrick's in the studio and there's this big projector, this big loud projector with speakers, and they're like just echoing all these anti-Kendrick things, and he's like revolting against it. It's, to me, that song has something visually going on.
Oh, so you imagine him being trapped and being forced to listening to it, and the second portion of the song is him sort of like destroying all this shit.
Right.
Okay.
Tell me something. You motherfuckers can't tell me nothing.
Right.
Yeah. So it's. But I feel that song, even how good it is, I feel like it doesn't have its place on the album to me. And look, and this is me just letting you guys know that I don't make any connections with the names of the tracks. Like, I mean, I've seen a few people say that, and I think it's pretty obvious. I think when you look at the track list and you look at everything, it's like DNA, blood, feelings. It's so these are the makings of life. Maybe you could look at it as some form of order as to, you reach enlightenment at the bottom because then there's God and then there's Duckworth. It's, it's me, but I don't think this is the thing with Kendrick is that I think people, you sent me a clip. You sent me a clip of John Lennon a couple weeks ago.
Oh yeah. You watched it. Nice.
Yeah. You know what? I'm going to fucking piss.
I'm surprised,
I'm gonna
dude,
piss on your head. Of course, I watch everything you send me. Everything.
Yeah, when people send me shit, I'm likely to watch half of it.
No, don't say people.
Half the time.
Don't say people. Say me.
Anyone, dude. Yeah, okay, you, sure.
Yeah.
I'm not good about watching things that people send me. That's something you guys got to know about me. Okay, whatever.
So this particular clip that Dom sent me was John Lennon outside of his mansion. He was being stalked by a fan who, I don't know how long he was sitting.
He was a hippie. He was a hippie living on his estate.
Yeah, he was living on his estate.
Chilling there.
And John just comes out one morning like, hey, what's this all about? And the guy, and the guy's basically suspecting that particular songs were about him, or one song was written about him. Yeah. And John was just telling him, it's like, dude, I was just having fun. Like, don't get so crazy about the words. Don't,
I loved it. Because he's like, dude, like, we were, and the guy's like, yeah, but when you said you got to carry that weight in that one song, and he's like, these are just words. Like, me and Paul, we were just, and at some point he's like, no, Paul wrote that, and he just destroyed the guy. Obviously, this is like pre-internet, so like to the hippies' credit, I mean, like, you couldn't know these things unless you had an encyclopedia. But he's like, Paul wrote that.
He created Rap Genius later on.
Yeah, that guy went on. No, but he looked so destroyed by it, but John was really mellow about it. He just kind of told him, he's like, dude, words are like, these things are, a lot of these are just nonsensical words that we just put onto this, and you can't like try and live your life, like make big life changes based on these things that we've said that we wrote when we were 20.
I think the big mistake is it's not even a mistake. I think it's just a common thing that we listen to Kendrick's song, to Kendrick's album, and then we think, what is Kendrick trying to say? I think the real question you should ask yourself is, what does it say to you? What is it saying to you? What does this mean to you? How is this significant to you? Because at the end of the day, that's what he's trying to do. He's trying to hand something off to you, and too many people try to read it like reading, like they're reading the Bible, and then you should be taking your interpretation and see what it means to you and how this applies to your life. And I think too many people are trying to get inside his head, and it's not interesting to me. I'm not interested at all in trying to get inside his head and why he's writing the things that he's writing. I just know that a few tracks that I heard on it, I mean, I told you, Fear. The first verse of Fear is my mother. Like, that's my mom. That's an immigrant upbringing. I'm gonna beat the shit. My mom obviously, was in Spanish, but it's the same shit. It's pain. It's it's instilling fear in your children. And when I buy those Jordans for you, they better not get scuffed up, or else I'm gonna beat your ass. If you get bad grades, I'm gonna beat your ass. If the teacher's talking about you, I'm gonna beat your ass. That song hit very close to home. So I have no interest in delving into. Was he talking about his mother? Was he talking about somebody else's mother? Was he talking about the mother that he doesn't want his wife to be this way? I don't care. I don't care. I just know that was my mom. That verse was my mom.
Okay, what's interesting here is we're talking about objective truths. I mean, as objective as you can get in art, we're talking about objective versus subjective right now. We're talking about, let's take a Rothko painting, for instance. If Rothko makes a painting, this is a good example. You'll like this because Rothko is one of these guys where it's like he made shit that was super abstract, not representational at all. I mean, talking like red splotch, blue splotch. That's it. But people, I mean, these paintings are notorious for people, Mark Maron, including him, sitting in front of these paintings and literally just crying and sitting in front of them for like 20 minutes. So what's happening is like the objective truth is this. You got a piece of canvas with red pigment and blue pigment on there. That's objective. No one will argue that. That's what it is. It's paint on a canvas. Mm-hmm. What's subjective is that you bring your experience to it. You sit in front of it, what it makes you feel, what it's saying to you, all that shit that it's communicating to you, what it reminds you of, you smelling things that when you were a kid, you imagining all that stuff is subjective, and that's the stuff that no one can take away from you, and no one can even explain to you where that stuff comes from. You can explain that to people. I mean, you can turn that into art. I think that's where the best art comes from, is you alchemizing stuff that is objective and sort of turning it into whatever you say it is. So your argument is that when people try to figure out why he's saying certain things, it is like talking about what type of pigment is on the canvas in terms of like Rothko, right? Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, and I think it's I see the value in it because it's fun. It's absolutely fun to to sort of look at Kendrick as if he were, Willy Wonka in the Chocolate Factory, and he's this genius, which he is. But I think we're at the point where we get that. We understand that if he's in this position, now you have to connect to the music instead of looking at the music like it's a term paper.
Oh,
you connect to it. That's it. We get it. He's got it. Kendrick is it's a World Star video, and Kendrick is that guy that's like pounding away on that dude 5 times after he knocks him out. You got the game. Dude, that's it. Walk away. You did it. So I'm done with this I'm done with this idea of looking at Kendrick's music in that way. I think I did that on past albums, just like everybody else did, and now there's something else that's being done here. He's cutting himself more open, and it's like let's go further. I mean, because if you listen to the messages of Kendrick's music, I mean, what I would say the ethos of Kendrick's, it's that it's between you and you. That's all there is. That's all it really is. It's between you and you. I think that's.
He talks about a lot of his family and people outside of him, though.
Yeah, I mean, of course, he's going to talk about the external factors, everything that makes him who he is. But it's the sort of you are your own worst enemy, and before you can give anything to anyone else, you have to sort of fight your inner demons. So because that's all it's really about, right? I mean, if isn't it mostly made up of inner demons? I mean, listen to Feel.
Yeah.
Feel is just like, I feel so vulnerable, yet at the same time, I do feel like people have been flapping their gums, and, I'm at the top of this, because I think he mentioned Mr. Top 5 or something like that, which could have been a jab to Drake. But I feel like the vulnerability and everything and cutting himself open like that, but it's all about like inner demons, and I'm my own worst enemy. It's nothing. He's not innovating anything. I mean, that's things that great artists have always conveyed to us in the past. He's just simply conveying what all people sort of get to this point of grand artistry. I mean, when somebody's regarded as a great artist, is that always the base of it? Is that how they connect to everyone to sort of to go for vulnerability?
What do you mean?
Is vulnerability the common denominator? Is that the way that you get to people the most? Tupac was vulnerable. Tupac was vulnerable. Right. He sort of conveyed that he was sort of passive, yet he was strong at the same time. But he always pointed those things out.
Well, we can't really have this conversation without bringing up Pitbull. You know what I mean? Like in his
I
last,
agree.
in his last album. I mean, this guy, he talked about how one time he has erectile dysfunction. Apparently, his mom used to beat him. And it's all couched in this song. Like the party, toma. But like in verse 3, he just says it. And I don't know why no one ever talks about it. Like, my dick don't work. Hey, my dick don't work. And everyone's just partying, and they don't. It's crazy, right? That he could just put that in a hit song.
Vulnerability for him would be being ignored by the bartender for 5 minutes. That's vulnerability for him. Shit, only when I was putting up my hands, hey, I want a Heineken. Or he's standing outside the club for an extra 10 minutes. That is the bottom for him.
What's vulnerability for Khaled?
For Khaled?
Yeah.
The Drake vocals not coming in yet?
Oh, that's his nightmare. Did the Drake vocals come in yet? And a demon comes out. He's like, no, they'll never come in.
That's Khaled. You're right. That's Khaled's nightmare. He checks his email, and it's the no Drake vocals.
Because, I mean, sure, it's a meme, but it's like, this meme is him asking for something that doesn't come in. And he's like, I like that it's not here. But also, the meme is that he's not getting something that he wants, which is what if in some ways this is what they want? Okay, they want the Drake vocals to not come in. He hasn't talked about they in a while, so maybe he's in the trap.
Maybe
you're listening to the Khaled podcast where you talk about Khaled every. We'll be right back. But
vulnerability.
In terms of vulnerability, we can talk about it in terms of music. I tend to think about it a lot more in terms of visual art day to day. When it comes to that. Obviously, there's a lot of overlap. I'm not going to lie and say that there isn't, but I'll talk about it from that perspective. It's showing the imagery in your head that you're scared of. It's showing people what is inside of you that you feel like people won't vibe with. I'll give you an example from my own life. I always, so when I was a kid, in college, like I guess I was 19, 20. I remember this is like I'm gonna reveal some shit on the internet I never have. I'm just gonna fucking come out and say it.
You're
so
trans.
My parents died.
We know.
Yeah, I'm trans. My parents died when I was very young, and I remember going to my professor, and I was like, why do I always want to draw women dying or like women in the process of suffering or somehow like withering away in front of me and dying? This is weird. I never made the connection at this point. I was probably 19, 20 at the time. I remember asking my professor this, and the professor sort of looked at me. He was a guy I trusted a lot, and like I think he was just kind of creeped out by it, and I think he knew as an adult, like, okay, you're dealing with some psychological shit that you need to like take care of as well. But like he was like, this might be something you want to chase in the future. You might want to think about it a lot more and just like do sketches about it, write about it. But he didn't have a great answer for me. Anyway, the point is, I didn't start revealing that side of me, like that shit that has been deep inside my mind since I was a kid. Stuff about death, like all this weird stuff I have about pregnancy and like how strange and alien I think it is. But I think it's leaking out into my art now slowly, and it's all getting better. And like for me being vulnerable, I know that I'm getting better by revealing this shit slowly. And I know that like the more I talk about this, the better it's gonna be, because you can't hide this shit. And I think you can't be good, you can't really connect with people unless you just like slice yourself open and say, well, this is what's in me and I'm not gonna hide from it anymore. You know, otherwise what is there? Otherwise, you're doing the photorealistic drawings. I'm telling you, that's what's on the other side of the spectrum. You know, like,
and then people ironically like photorealistic drawings when they record cats.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's what I thought. I fucking thought. You fucking asshole. And you made me do that the other day on Snapchat. I hated myself for it. I'm listening.
Oh, dude, it's so good. It's so
I'm
good.
just looking at my cat, and I'm just like, the song sounds hilarious when a cat
It's great. Play Bad and Bougie with your cat. That's the point of all this. But I think the vulnerability of music, that's why Kendrick is connecting with people. J. Cole is trying to do it. I think he tries to do it as well, but he doesn't. It's not the same, dude. You know it.
It's not.
And also,
no, I've been saying that.
And also,
you get to hear the difference. You get to hear. If you ever have conversations with your friends and you say things like that, I say things like that to my friend all the time. I tell him J. Cole's not on his level, and he goes, "Oh, J. Cole." It's not. And when you hear an album like this, you know the difference. Obviously they aren't the same artist, but J. Cole's intending to do the same thing. He's intending to do the same thing, unless he goes down another path. But it's just not as good.
And that's, if we're talking about artistry, I don't think you can have a discussion about artistry without talking about skill. So honestly, okay, going back to the photorealistic drawing thing, which everyone knows that I hate, there is skill involved in doing that. That's craft to me, but it's not art. I don't. It's like, let's not even have a discussion about that. But they know how to take reality and turn it into something else. That's skill. You can't be a good artist without having skill. Like the art of expression and taking all that stuff that's inside of you and putting it out, that's not good enough by itself. Case in point, everyone has seen artists that, like, Cudi, for example. I mean, that guy, he's doing that to the fucking 20th degree. No one's going to deny that. Cudi is telling you that he wants to kill himself all the time. So I've been at this Flat Existential Mind show for like 20 days now. It's we've all just been standing here listening to Cudi, and it just keeps going. It's still going, and yeah. Hey Cudi, can you do the next song?
Just breathe. It's just concerts in Flat Existential Mind, just breathing exercises.
You know who really likes Flat Existential Mind, right?
Who?
It's my favorite band. I haven't been around for a while because I was at the concert for the Flat Existential Mind.
Okay.
It's amazing. It's transcendent. I always bring my wife with me too to watch it. It's changed my life.
When's their next album dropping?
It doesn't matter when the next album is dropping.
Right.
Some might also say, D-Respect, that life itself is an album. This is the album. Didn't you hear that? The track just changed. The track just changed again. This is the song.
The Life album. That's gonna be the name of
his whole life.
Album.
His whole life is the album.
Guys, you got. I'm gonna leave this in the description below. I mean, just one of the funniest things that I've seen on YouTube in a few months. Fantano, as most of you guys know, he has his second channel, which is called This Is the Plan. He has this video where he's talking about Hopsin being the greatest rapper of all time, and this is his satire. It's that channel's insane, but it's one of the funniest things because Fantano in the middle of a Hopsin lyric ascends into madness for quite a few minutes.
He locks himself in prison.
He's in another world, in another dimension.
Dumb.
Hopsin sends him there, all because Hopsin. What was that? The Illmind 4? I think when he was upset at his friend for taking
for doing drugs. I can't believe you would do drugs, man. D-Respect, I can't believe you do edibles. How could you go around eating edibles all the time? You're telling these kids, you're being a bad influence. Telling them that marijuana is the way. You know what? No. Marijuana is not the way. And you know what else? You're gay.
The
I don't know why Hopsin would
levels
say
of
that.
ignorance. The levels of ignorance to have someone die of drug abuse and you tell them...
Oh, he died? Oh,
his
my
friend
God,
is dead. Yes.
I didn't know. I thought he was still alive. I thought he was just smoking weed.
Because remember in the hook, "You're mad at the world because it took away my homie. Give me back my homie."
I'm upset that you know that.
Of course I do. Of course I do.
Give me back my homie.
Yeah. But anyway, okay, we're getting, now that I shamed myself for knowing the Hopsin chorus.
Okay, so here's what I was getting at for the depression. There's skill involved, and it's deep. Okay, the skill I'm talking about, you have to be skillful at telling people how you're depressed, and also not just say I'm depressed. Kendrick isn't just saying that. He's turning it into bangers, songs that like penetrate your brain. Your body is moving with it. It's an amazing beat that he's rhyming over, and he like what I'm talking about is turning your depression itself into art. That is a separate quality that's like when you're reaching these high levels of artistry that you were talking about in the beginning, you're at this point where you're alchemizing your sadness into something that is greater than most people could do when they're happy, right? So that's what you got to be. Like if you're like so saying I'm sad, revealing things about yourself, dark shit about your past is not enough. You got to know how to give it to people in a way that's also appealing, even if it's visually, you know. They got to want to look at it. They got to want to listen to it as well. And I'm not talking about it in a douchey way that has to be like a party anthem. I mean, like, you got to... It's something on a deep level that... some of this stuff, I mean, I don't even know how to do this. So this is like on a level... That's what makes you a genius, is because he's at this level of like... Even though he's telling you all this shit that's clearly on the surface, super dark, it's also beautiful musically. Hey.
Well,
Genius.
I think one of you guys should just go with the whole club record and being ignored by the bartender. Getting ignored by the bartender, eh? And that is the dark moment. That is the moment where it's like I'm in the soil. I'm in ground zero if I'm Pitbull.
Well, there are people who not getting bottle service. That's upsetting to them. You know, there's this bar I go to that I really love in the area. There's always a bunch of Ethiopian women all around. They're so beautiful. I love them. And I've never have I touched an Ethiopian?
I haven't. This is just
actually I have.
Hold up, Ethiopian women are just always there.
Dude, Silver Spring, where I live, dude. This place is Addis Ababa. It is Ethiopia, dude. It's fucking everywhere, and they don't look at me. They don't give me the time of day. You try and talk to them, they look at you like they're scared.
Why do you think?
It's terrible.
Because you're ugly.
It's black.
I said it so matter of factly that it just caught Dom so off guard.
Yeah, damn, you bodied me.
Are you a virgin?
Are you a virgin? Are you a virgin? I think it's because they don't like black dudes, like American. Well, I mean, yeah, they don't like American black dudes, man. Even like a Kenyan dude might have better chance, but it's tough. I don't know, man. It's really tough. Anyway, so this bar I go to, a lot of Africans, a lot of Ethiopian people, and like there's an upstairs bar. And I like going there because the bartender really likes me, and he gives me like, I would say I will have to pay for 2 out of 10 drinks. He will just give me drinks and free food all the time. Anyway, it's kind of douchey up there. Like a lot of people like when like Saturday nights, Sunday nights, it turns into like a club, loud music, beautiful women going up there, but it's not my scene. Like it's to the point where they have bottle service and they have stanchions with like lines. They had a line across the block last week when I was there, and I'm at the coffee shop below, but in the upstairs bar, it's fucking insane. And when you see these people, it's like, oh, all right, this is the guy. This is the kind of guy who gets bottle service. This is what he looks like. And to see them up close, that's important for me because I'm not that person. So sometimes I need to see these guys because I don't know what that's like. I mean, I'm genuinely interested in it. Like, what is that life like where you're like, oh, I got to get the girls around me and I'm at the bottle service in the VIP area and I want everyone to see that I'm a baller. And yeah, but
that's normally a group of people though that chip in.
Is it? God, it's so douchey.
I mean, look, it should be because bottles at clubs are like $200, $300, $400, $500. You'd be a fucking moron. I mean, unless you were fucking selling drugs, to go in there and waste your hard-earned money for paying $400 for a bottle that you can get for $50 or $20 at a liquor store, which is insane. The same people who set the prices for the bottles in the clubs are the same people who set the prices for tuna sandwiches at airports.
Well, the bartender was telling me that like someone bought a bottle for $3,000 the other day. So yeah, it was like a gold-plated bottle or something, and I'm like, what does this even mean? Does it mean? I mean, ugh. I'm sure all you folks. How many bottle service guys do you think listen to our shit?
None.
There's got to be one.
One?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I doubt that very much. I doubt that. We have a question from Snapchat, though, that I'd like to get into. By the way, guys, if you guys are expecting more talk on Damn, trust me, main channel this week, I'll be talking about it, so don't worry about that. So let's get to the question. Well, you know what? I'm not gonna because it's a very long-winded question. Because admittingly, this particular person said that he's drunk while he's sending this, which is kind of odd that he's drunk and he's texting me. This is weird. So basically, he's dating a girl right now. He said the sex is great. They share the same interests, similar personalities. The problem is that he's graduating this, and I'm sorry, this guy's name is Stank Daddy 94.
Why'd you put his name out there?
So what?
What if people know now?
People know his government name.
They know he's drunk.
First name
he's
Stank,
drunk.
last name Daddy.
Daddy 94.
94.
That's his name. It's his fucking name. No, people are gonna know that he's drunk.
It's your first mistake, dude. You're a douche for calling yourself that. But I'm the one calling myself a daddy, so I'm a douche too. Don't worry about it. Yeah. So basically, his problem is that he's got this great girl, and he's graduating this semester from college, and she still has several years left. They don't live near each other, so they would have to have a long-distance relationship. She's getting on his back about the fact that he's not even putting forth an effort. And he also mentioned that, I'll quote him, he said, she's white, by the way, shout out to Dom, but what would y'all do in this scenario?
Hey, Papi, you don't even listen to me anymore. And it don't matter, I'm white, I'm still using this accent.
Debbie,
like,
it's just not gonna happen,
like,
Debbie.
You have to be with me, okay?
Why am I calling you
Debbie
Debbie
can't be with these
if
other
you sound
bitches.
like Consuela?
I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah, that was bad.
Listen, man. Here's a short version. I know it's nice. I know the pussy is too good. .exe, but like, listen, man. There's some great. You don't even know, man, how great. There's so much good pussy out there in this universe. Okay, I'm talking outside of this galaxy. All right. I'm talking intergalactic pussy. You know what I'm talking about? I'm talking about an alien that like she just envelops your waist, right? And it's like she impregnates you. You know what I'm talking about? Like, and then you turn into a woman, and then you're trans, and then you die and reincarnated. You know what I'm saying? That type of pussy. You feel me, dog? You know what I'm saying? No, but sure, this is good. But what's the max amount? Like, she has to be what, 8? He can't be older than 22. Right?
No.
So, I mean, shit.
So she's probably 19, 18.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm not saying the sex isn't good, but I'm like, I'm going to talk down to you for a second. Please forgive me, but dude, the women you're going to be with the rest of your life, the things you're going to experience, there's so much ahead of you. I know this is not a bad situation right now, but you got to realize when you got to let something go and move forward. There are other worlds than these. That's a Stephen King quote. And you got to go out, man. You gotta sow those oats. You're becoming a man, and you got to go out there and find out what else is in the world. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah, that's what you got to do. And I'm gonna chip in as well as your president. You got to go out. Here's my advice. You got a woman who's beautiful, okay? The most beautiful Russian bride ever. You marry her, okay? You marry her, then you become president. That's my advice. It's gonna be great.
Trump, come back to bed.
Oh my god!
Come back to bed, baby.
My body is cringing away from the microphone when he's there. Yeah.
Asshole.
How often do you think he fucks Melania?
Dude, I wouldn't be surprised if he's impotent. Looks very unhealthy.
No, so he pops a Cialis, though.
Yeah, probably does. I mean,
you get that zombie dick, right? You get that zom dick.
You know what he does?
Zom cock.
She probably blows him constantly. You know what I would
Little
love
tiny
to hear
pee-pee.
from Trump. You know what I would love to hear from Trump. Trump could probably give you really good advice on how to make your wife go nose to belly. Are you familiar with nose to belly? This is very disgusting.
No, what's that?
Nose to belly is basically when you make a chick just completely just gobble up your dick so her nose gets dug into your belly.
Oh, your belly. I
Yes.
thought it was like her nose to her belly,
No,
which
no,
I'm
no.
interested in.
So
Why would her? Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. I think Trump could he could give us a good tutorial on how to make. I don't know why. It's just
Listen,
hearing him say,
I'll
"I
tell
know
you
I'm
right
bloated. I know I'm bloated, but."
Look, it's easy, okay? My dick is pretty much non-existent at this point. It doesn't exist. What I usually do is I wear a strap-on, and it's not gay, okay? It's not gay.
Sure it isn't.
It's a strap-on, all right?
Yeah.
Sometimes I like to suck my own strap-on. It's fine. It's not gay, all right? Anyway, I put that on, and I have Melania suck that, okay? So basically, it's like she's sucking my dick. It's not my dick, but you know, that's how it is. So it's basically nose to belly, with due respect. And I like to have a small strap on, by the way, to emulate what my dick looks like. So basically, it's not even like I'm having anything. I basically have a string, like a belt, around my waist.
Okay.
With the little drawing. It's like a drawing of a dick on it.
Right. Hey, look, Stank Daddy. What I would say to you, man, is same as what Dom is saying. You've got to experience other things. It's great right now that you found her, but you have to realize that she's not. You're gonna find a lot of women that you have that connection with. Your life is on the up and up. You're just graduating from school. You have to pay attention that all your surroundings as well are the contributing factors as to how you feel about her. Okay, you're in transitional stage. You're coming up in the world. You're excited. You're gonna go into the workforce. That you are just excited about that as you are about her. Don't put all your excitement into her as if she is some source of joy. You know what I'm saying? You're already doing that, dude. You're doing your thing. It's gonna hurt to let her go because you got to let her be her. She's got to grow. You know. So
You just rhymed. Damn, dude.
yeah, just spitting these. But I was gonna start freestyling for a second, but I didn't want to. But I mean, that's the point. I think you should definitely leave yourself some room to grow, and just it's not necessary right now, man. You're gonna meet so many women that you are into and that are gonna be dope, and there's no need to rush things. You know, don't marry this chick. You're 22 years old. Figure out what you want to do. You didn't mention, not that you had to, but you didn't mention whether, you know, what your priorities are. Like, you know, do you know, in fact, what you want to get into? Have you already got started on that before you graduated? You know what I'm saying? Have some ambition first, and then think about the lady later. It's too early for that. And I'm only saying, you know, I wouldn't be saying that if you were graduating and you guys had convenient living situations. Obviously, this is something you would have to go out of your way for. It breeds resentment. Don't worry about it. She's gonna grow. She's gonna grow, and you don't need it. She's gonna meet a guy. And here's the other thing too. Here's the other thing. And I'm sorry to fuck with you by telling you this, but this could be the reality of the situation. You could just be very convenient for her. You could be very convenient.
Whoa.
It's a possibility. I mean, that's not something that he wants to hear. Hopefully, he's still drunk, passed out, just in a pool of his own vomit somewhere as he's listening to this.
Dead with headphones in his ear.
Yeah. But it's a reality. Okay, the reality is that you guys were probably, you know, sleeping, you know, in co-ed dorms, you know, where it was okay to have a chick. Is that a thing? Is it okay in some dorm rooms?
I don't know, man.
To have your girl over for a day, but I know it happens. You know, people sleep with people all the time, so it doesn't matter. So, you know, you guys are very comfortable going to the same lunch halls, studying, you know, the same circle of people. All that's gonna change, and you have to give that amount of time to see what it's really worth. At least have some time apart from each other, you know, and see how that makes you feel. But my advice would be just don't even get into it. Just let it phase out slowly as possible. Be the interesting guy when you get back home. Start meeting people, get on social media, you know, get on dating apps and start meeting women. And trust me, you know, it's going to hurt because I'm sure you care about her, but you got to let her go.
I got a question too.
Yeah. But I don't even know who this is.
I have a question.
Oh, okay.
Can I ask my question?
You sound a little extra sad because, and this is hilarious. Before you say anything, Cowboy, I saw you yesterday, like you were crossing the street going into your apartment. You looked a little extra sad, and what I think is hilarious about that, it's because you heard Kendrick's album. You somehow thought that you were his contemporary. Like this makes a difference. Like he's taking something away from you.
Hey, look, man. All I'm gonna say.
He wasn't gonna have it anyway, dude.
Look, he has bars.
Yeah.
That is true.
Yeah, he does.
But you know, he took my idea for the album cover.
Did he?
My album cover is the same as
With a
Kendrick's.
cactus in the back.
Can I ask a question?
Go for it.
I want to ask a question.
Okay.
Can I ask it though?
You just did. Yes, you can, Cowboy. Yes.
He just left. He just left. I don't know. I don't.
Sad in his apartment.
I don't know what the. Yeah, it's fucking. He walked back to his apartment in San Antonio.
Right.
I don't know what the question. But in terms of dating, man, you're gonna have to get back on. You're gonna have to get back.
Cowboy with his head down.
Oh Jesus! This is too much. This is too much. I'm sweating right now, dude.
It's like a silhouette image of Cowboy with his head down going into his apartment and Kendrick in the backdrop in the clouds. Just looking at him with the damn cover.
A tumbleweed gets trapped in the door so he can't close it properly.
Nothing's going right with Cowboy.
He doesn't have any food in the fridge.
Dumb batteries in his Walkman just died because he still has a Walkman.
He doesn't have the internet. He has to get Damn on vinyl. Oh, Jesus Christ, you guys.
He said, look, listen, he said April 7th, get your shit together. And obviously Cowboy didn't listen.
Yeah, he didn't have his
I'll
shit
talk to
together,
Quack
man.
later and see what he tells you about the album.
Yeah, fuck. So in dating apps, you got to get on Tinder and OkCupid, man. Tinder is, for me, it's been better than OkCupid. I met some really, really great girls on there.
Absolutely.
but
OkCupid's been working
I've been,
for me, though.
damn, dude, I don't. Yeah, okay, I don't like having to write about myself in long form. You know, I'm so desperate, by the way, that my Tinder profile now is. You've seen The Shining, right?
Yes.
It is the last scene when Jack Nicholson is in the Overlook Hotel. It's black and white. You know that?
Damn, that movie's got so much detail to it, man.
Yeah, so it's basically my profile is the ending of The Shining when it's an old photograph of Jack Nicholson and it's zooming in on his face and he's trapped in hell. And my profile is basically like 4 pictures of that. So it's zooming. Every time you swipe, it gets closer and closer in on my face and I'm trapped in my own hell. Anyway, so I've been meeting a lot of girls on Tinder who have really strong Trump feelings. Like even stronger than my feelings, which obviously I hate the guy, horrible politician, didn't vote for him, hate the guy, he's fucking terrible, right? Clearly. Mm-hmm. But I keep having these conversations with girls like who want him dead, who want to see him assassinated, like wiped off the earth. Like I had this conversation twice recently where girls are like I'd be happy if he just if his head just exploded one day. He just died on TV.
Really, that would make
I was
you
like,
happy.
and I just looked over at her. I was like, are we seriously talking about this? Like, this is a human. Like, and I know it's Trump. I know it's him. But to that, I responded I was thinking I would just like it if he just wasn't president. That's
right.
That's like my fantasy is him just not being president. He can go fuck off and do whatever he wants elsewhere, but just don't be president. Like I want someone more qualified to be there. But I don't want him dead. The dead thing seems very extreme to me. And like to this person's reaction was like she said it's because he's killed people with the drone strikes and shit. And I'm like, Obama's responsible for a lot of deaths. You can't get around that. Just because he smiles and he waves and he's cool and he's handsome and all that shit doesn't mean that he's not a killer too. Every president is a killer. Like bigger killers than any one soldier. bigger killers than any stick-up guy who shot up a club or whatever. Bigger than any of that shit.
And what was your response?
I mean, I think the topic kind of trailed off, and I might have changed the subject.
So
I
you
just didn't want
either
to talk
basically.
about it. Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
But that's just a strange thing to me, and like, yeah, you've been experiencing that, right?
Yeah, I've seen on these profiles on OkCupid. On OkCupid, it's like a thing to mention if you're a Trump supporter, just don't message me. I've seen that. I've seen people who feel the need to just randomly say not a fan of the Donald. You know, when none of the information on their profile is addressing politics at all. It's just, I'm not a fan of the Donald. And it's like you're just talking about a person. You're not talking about the politician. You're just saying, I don't like him. And people confuse that. It's like, do you know anything about his policy? Probably not. Probably don't know anything.
I mean, his policy is
and I'm not saying
shit.
that if you knew about it, you would like him. But you don't know about it because the problem, you know, kind of like what I alluded to earlier when I said people don't watch Fox News.
Right.
Kendrick, for example. Let's bring it back to Kendrick. Let's bring it back to Kendrick. Let's bring it back to the Joey Badass album, All American, I think it's called.
All American Badass.
All American Badass. You know, he has a song.
America with 3 Ks, by the way.
With 3 Ks, right. Of course. There's a song with Styles P, where Styles P has this line where he goes, you know, I'm not a chicken, so I don't listen to Fox News. I like the line. It was a little corny, but I liked it.
I don't get it.
A chicken and a fox. I'm not a chicken, so I don't listen to Fox News. You see how it's a little kind of corny, but I like how Styles said it. It was like, that was clever. I like it.
Why would a chicken listen to a fox, though?
Because a chicken doesn't want to get eaten, so a chicken doesn't listen to Fox News.
But he's saying Fox isn't going to eat him?
I guess those two parallels. It's like I don't listen to Fox News, the network, and I'm not a chicken. I guess maybe he's saying you're afraid if you listen to it or something, you know, or I don't know. But my thing is this. I don't think if you listen to those things, and then, well, I mentioned Kendrick. Kendrick says at the beginning of DNA, at the end of DNA, when he says, you know, you motherfuckers can't tell me nothing. I'd rather die than listen to you. It's like, I've always understood that, and I don't know where I heard this. I mean, I guess this is just a common principle of medicine. If you are researching cancer, then you have to know as much about it to understand what makes it the disease, the entity that it is. You have to learn everything about it if you want to take it down. You know, so you have to know everything about it. So if you oppose Fox News so much and you oppose the right, you know, whatever that means anymore, or InfoWars, or, you know, even if you're from that side and you oppose CNN, if you oppose MSNBC, and you don't listen, you just listen to your side, then you're doing yourself a disservice. So I think Styles P with that line, he's doing himself a disservice, and Kendrick is doing himself a disservice, because then you're stupid and ill-informed like Drake was when he was on stage not too long ago, and the fuck did he say? Drake said some shit where it's like, the beginning of the rant said, I was listening to CNN today. I was watching CNN today. And I was like, well, no wonder you're such a fucking idiot, because you're just listening to one side of the story. It's totally, you're not informing yourself. So, I'm experiencing it, because obviously I'm encountering a lot of very strong and passionate women who, you know, for the most part are black women. And they're angry, you know. Black women are angry these days. You know, even if you meet, if you meet Cuban, you know, even if they come in the form of Caribbean women, Cuban women, they're fucking angry. You know, it doesn't matter. So, you know, it doesn't matter where, you know, part of the diaspora you are. The women are just upset now, and he represents white supremacy, which. You know, which people don't understand that's a system. It's not a person. It's not a mold. It's a system. It's a mentality. You know, he perpetuates it. He didn't invent it. He's just a product of it. You know,
I was on a date with a girl. It was a black girl, and we went to see I Am Not Your Negro. And I think in hindsight,
James Baldwin.
Yeah, it was a great movie. He does not sound anything like that.
I know, that was me doing my James Lipton. Come on, dude.
Oh, James Lipton. Okay, whatever.
Actor Studio.
But No, what? Is he taking a shit or
Tell
just
us
sleepy?
about damn. In your song,
tell
you
you.
said, "Tell me something. I'd rather die than listen to you." What did
Hey,
that?
man, you know...
What did that mean?
Hey, man, do you need a cough drop or something, man?
I would
sounds like-
appreciate that very much. Sir.
There you go, dog. Hey, man, when I said that shit about Fox News, what I was saying is that I'm not a chicken, man. Even though I love chicken. I love all types of chicken, man. In fact, I want to talk more about chicken today. That's why I bought this little pamphlet. It says a lot of stuff about chicken. A fried, boiled chicken is good, you know what I'm saying? Braised chicken, spicy chicken, man. I love it all.
In your song, Duckworth, you spoke about your father providing chicken to Top Dog, who later became the head of your label. Did you like that, by
Yeah,
the way?
that's true, man.
Did you understand the whole thing with Duckworth? You got it?
Yeah, I got it the second time around.
Hang
I was
in
like, that's pretty fucking cool, man.
Yeah.
That's that butterfly effect shit. Also, this is tied into, I think it's tied into the ass end of fear, where it's like, this is the other side of privilege. This is like, when you grow up in an environment, like, you guys got to understand this. Like, privilege is something, it's not just white, it's socioeconomic, okay? It's like opportunities. You also have privileges as a human living in this country. Privileges of, like, not getting your ass, like, beheaded for no reason, which historically every human, like, for maybe, I don't know, 200 years ago and back to the beginning of time have been subjected to that. So, like, it would have been a really normal thing in Kendrick's life for his dad to have gotten gunned down by some drug dealer.
Yeah.
That's normal for his life. So, like, this is
He's
where
an
coming
outlier. Kendrick,
Right,
Kendrick-
exactly, exactly.
I would love to hear what Malcolm Gladwell would have to say about Kendrick Lamar because of that reason.
But I think that's the point, and it's like, he kind of said this in some, I think it was a Good Kid, Mad City song. It's like, I'm sure my intelligence now is a great relief, right? He's like, oh, you're happy now that you can get something out of me. You can get the music out of me, but the reality is, like, there's no, I mean, if you get a bunch of Harvard kids, Harvard eligible kids who came from some nice backgrounds or whatever and didn't have to deal with any of these shit that these Compton kids do, it's like there's no difference in the ratio of, like, I mean, obviously I don't have science to back this up. This is anecdotal, whatever the fuck. You guys know what I'm talking about. But, like, I'm talking about opportunities here. It's like, he didn't die. Like, Kendrick was born because that shit didn't happen. But, I mean, if you grew up in the suburbs in Philly or wherever the fuck, I don't know, in Boston somewhere, and any nice suburb where your parents make a decent amount of money and aren't working in a chicken store in the fucking hood, then your chances of being born are way higher. You don't have to worry about all these other hurdles happening, all these other things ruining your existence on your way to trying to become a good person. Right? So, like, when you look at these people who are kind of really unfortunate, it's like Kendrick represents, he is an outlier, and sure, he's a genius and all that stuff, but he also represents what, like, the odds you need to beat. That's what you need to beat. You need to beat your dad almost getting killed at a fucking chicken restaurant. Mm-hmm. That's what needs to happen for a Kendrick to be created. Right? So, I think that's probably one of the reasons why he's so amazing, is he is an outlier. He is an anomaly in that sense, statistically, you know, to be so successful that way. I don't know, man.
Yeah, we were getting into Trump and some. I mean, well, I'm pretty sure that they're not going to complain about the fact that we're discussing Kendrick so much in this episode. But we were discussing Trump, and somehow I turned it back on Kendrick. All right, with the chicken and the fox.
Well, the point is, you gotta stay woke.
Chicken
You
and the
gotta not be
fox.
Don't be a chicken, man. Even though you love chicken, man.
What was
even though
that?
chicken is your favorite. Don't be a chicken, even if chicken is your favorite shit, man. I'm bad about that. I don't like watching Fox. I don't like watching any news, actually. I barely, like, I try, but it takes a lot of time, and I usually would rather watch Samurai Jack. So that's about it, and that's why our world is gonna go to shit.
What is that, Samurai Jack? What
I'm not gonna tell you. You're not privileged enough to
well, I'm not.